Hi, everyone. Welcome and thank you so much for being here today. We are so excited to share this show with you. We, the ensemble, wanted to come out and talk to you a bit before we start. First, we want to let you know that if you are in need of ASL interpretation or an extended audio description version of the show, you can find links to both in the chat box, which is located to the right-hand side of your screen. This show is captioned by Fane May, Christian, and Rebecca. Thank you.
We want to connect with you all. Let us know in the chat box. Where in the world are you tuning in from today?
Since we began working on this show in January, a lot has happened. The COVID-19 global pandemic, Black Lives Matter protests, worldwide anti-oppression movements, including anti-caste movements, wildfires here in California, and many other terrifying disasters across the globe. Even though we all have experienced these realities in some form, they do not affect us all equally.
We want to acknowledge that our show does not and cannot represent the experiences of many who are directly impacted by everything we just named. There are so many important issues related to the climate crisis, which are not in this show, and many that we can't speak to because of the identities that we hold.
I'm seeing where everyone's tuning in from, and wow, are we honored to be part of this global synchronous event. We are broadcasting today from the San Francisco Bay Area in California as settlers on the ancestral lands and unceded territories of the Chochenyo and Ramaytush Ohlone, who have lived on this land since time immemorial. We recognize the historic and current discrimination and violence inflicted upon Indigenous peoples in California and affirm Indigenous rights to homeland and home waters.
We are incredibly proud to have partnered with three organizations, Banyan Roots, Movement Generation, and the Village in Oakland, all of which are currently accepting donations. At this time, Banyan Roots is unable to accept payments from outside of India, so if you're in India, we encourage you to donate to them. You'll find the links to donate below the viewing screen and in a resource packet you'll receive at the end of the show. So I think we're ready to start the show.
See you in there.
Welcome, 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 one and all distinguished guests, purveyors of our future success, heralds of a new world order, you who will bring climate peace to all four corners of the world and perhaps even the universe. I will be your host. And what an honor it is. Welcome to It Is What It Is, a dark and tender comedy for the climate crisis. A few announcements before we get started. Our show runs roughly 90 minutes with no intermission. Please take a moment to locate your exits, in case of wildfire, cyclone, or any other major climactic event leading to the inevitable eventuality of us all becoming or remaining climate refugees. The restrooms are located, likely down the hall from you, hopefully nearby. Please silence your phones and make sure your masks are somewhere on you, your COVID, your N95. With everything going on, it's a real shame not to be able to see your faces. Oh, alas, it is what it is. Oh, speaking of, let me tell you what we have in store for you. Throughout our show, you will be introduced to 5 central characters in order of appearance. Butterfly, native to the mountains of Taiwan, tells a tale of the lineage of love. And our resident scientist, or as his YouTube followers know him, Too Much CO2. And yes, he will provide lots of overwhelming facts, but don't worry, you'll appreciate his calm demeanor. Miss Blossom, our show's educator, helps us figure out what to do about all of this. Then there's Persephone, Greek goddess of the seasons. Whew, she goes deep. One hell of a climate justice goddess. And a very special treat, we have included some therapy sessions. That's right. We brought in a therapist for the occasion because we know how important it is to talk about climate anxiety and all of our feelings, really. And my dears, we did work really hard to make this show smack dab in the middle of a global pandemic, stuffed into a crushing mass societal crisis, rolled into a recurring nightmare, and baked by the burgeoning heat of civil and foreign wars to turn you all into the climate justice warriors you need to be if you're going to survive past the next century. Decade. Month? We're really not too sure. See, every day things are 10 times worse, so it's hard to predict. But here's our show, and it's really our last chance to save the world, so we are counting on you to move this thing forward. Let's begin, shall we?
演煞桥头是我的名，我是一个足行的石壁，足侪石头伫咧我的身躯顶，清水溪流过我的脚边啊。伫咧我细汉的时阵，古早人来到我的身躯顶，阿祖的祖先伫咧我的身躯顶开垦，因伫我的乡仔口起一了因的厝。演煞桥头，我要离开了，我的朋友马都领走了，我已经没有食物在这里，而他们也需要我帮他们播种。我不知道我会不会回来，但为了继续活下去，我必须离开。我无想要甲你讲再见，毋惊。毋过我了解，伫咧我的身上，生活已经改变啊，而我永远伫遮。
爸，为什么要种马兜铃啊？清水溪很远，水桶很重。山上已经够多蝴蝶了，为什么黄场凤蝶这么重要？
阿祖啊，我知影这水桶真重，毋过我想要种天仙藤去引黄蝶仔转来。我遐细汉的时阵吼，有真侪蝴蝶踮咱山顶夜夜飞，因足水的。毋过有一天我发现啊，这食物无伊，蝴蝶也无伊啊，咱的语言台语嘛强强要消失啊。我想要因拢转来咱的山顶，这几年。咱带城市的物件来，因为这对咱来讲真方便，咱的生活踮山顶嘛改变了。
但这不是我的错啊！如果你想要黄场凤蝶回来，你自己去清水溪提水，我不要做这个。
我知影这毋是你毋对，毋过我想要这黄蝶仔转来啊，咱会当做伙拍拼无？
Greetings, once more, from the cave of climate truth. Today, we are going to discuss temperature warming and what that inevitably leads to. There's really no way to dance around this particular topic. In fact, we're experiencing a lot of the impacts of warming right now. By 2100, with projected 4 degrees warming, even more regions of the Earth will be likely uninhabitable due to intensely high temperatures, desertification, food shortages, and extreme weather events, and the melting of the polar ice caps, which are contributing to rising ocean levels and the displacement of billions of people, insects, and animals. This is best case scenario. Worst case scenario, anything above 5 degrees warming, let's say, sees most living beings on the planet at the brink of extinction in as little as 80 years. In 2017 alone, 24 million people were displaced due to the climate crisis in Latin America, Sub-Saharan Africa, and Southeast Asia. That's more than at any point in human history, and it grows more each day. The United Nations is projecting between 200 million and 1 billion more climate refugees worldwide within the next 30 years. Large portions of the continents sinking into the oceans. What happens when hundreds of millions of families have nowhere to go? Before I end tonight's video, I'd like to extend a message to anybody watching this closer to the year 2050. As Kurt Vonnegut so eloquently put it, "Dear future generations, please accept our apologies. We were rolling drunk on petroleum."
Good day, lovely friends. I am so happy to see each and every one of your beautiful faces in our virtual classroom. Today, we are here to learn about our planet, which is very, very sick. Aw, I know, that makes you feel oh so sad. You may also be feeling scared, angry, confused, and probably guilty. But worry not, that's why I'm here. Together, we will see exactly how our planet is in its most ultimate state of suffering and the easy things that you can do each and every day to save it. You may be asking yourself, why should I be listening to you, Miss Blossom? Good question. Well, everyone, I used to be just like you, slowly destroying the world with each and every one of my careless actions. But then I turned it around. I planted a garden, swapped my plastic containers for mason jars. I even make my own soap. Together, we can learn how to save our planet. So I got together with our friends Twyla the Bunny and Herman the Frog to sing a song about just that. Let's watch.
Come on now.
Hello, everyone. Isn't Miss Blossom wonderful? Ah, such an incredible teacher. Learning about the climate crisis can be so heartbreaking. That's why keeping positivity alive in our fight is so important. Our next star will continue inspiring us. Persephone, goddess of the seasons, will help us connect to each other and the heavens.
Here. Hello, everyone.
What are you doing here?
Oh, of course. Who am I? You all would need a label for comprehension purposes. Okay, so you may categorize me as a trash fashion performative activist. You know, because the only thing we're sustaining at this point is trash. Haha. Audiences, you may call me trashy trash collector.
TTC, you are not supposed to be here.
I'm not supposed to be here. Well, Trixie, you would know everything there is to know about claiming a space, wouldn't you?
What? What does that even? No, I prepared the order. I showed the 5 central characters at the beginning of the show. You are not going to ruin my production like you ruin everything else.
Oh, your production. Well, if nothing else, it looks like you need some color in there, and I can obviously add some.
You're going to make them uncomfortable talking about race like that. Okay? As I was saying, Mesdames, Messieurs, all those both and in between. Up next, Persephone. Thank you. Enjoy. Without interruption.
I'm so excited because tonight I get to see my quarantine lover, Venus. Oh, that hot molten body. Oh, I get butterflies in my stomach every time I look at her. She's just so bright and beautiful, along with the rest of the stars and the planets in the sky. And it's fascinating how humans across distance and time have memorialized their stories into the celestial bodies. But what happens when their lights block out those bodies? The industrialized world has grown, outshining and overpowering the natural night lights. So many of us have replaced our stars with screens. Our screens can help us move into action, but they aren't the action. They're cold. Look at me, it says. I'm everything you need. But you're not. You'll never replace the tenderness of touch. So much feels uncontrollable right now. I should be in the underworld right now to help mark the seasons. We're losing the seasons. Will I lose myself too? Demeter, please let me go back down. Mother, I've tried to keep you happy, but I need to be with Hades. I want to be with Hades. I have duties as queen of the underworld, and maintaining balance in death is just as important as maintaining balance in life. I need to talk to Hades.
Welcome, everyone.
Welcome to where?
I'm sorry. Welcome to this therapy section. Let's start with a brief check-in with everyone.
No.
Did I miss something there?
We all miss things sometimes. We've worked over the years, these billions of years, to maintain some semblance of balance between our own well-being and others.
Wow, yes, that sounds like a lot.
And trillions of changes are needed in so many moments and on so many levels. You all, especially in capitalistic industrialized nations, will have to say goodbye to the comforts you know now.
Yeah, that's right. Because you are Mother Earth and we are abusing you.
Why, Mother Earth? We've seen how some of you treat your mothers, and so much of what your therapy is about. Tell me about your relationship with your mother. What did she not fulfill?
Okay, Mom. I mean, Earth. I'm noticing there's some hostility. Anger is a very neutral emotion.
Why should we talk with you?
And totally okay to ask about my credential. I do have a master's degree in counseling psychology with a concentration in drama therapy. And I'm quite worried.
Oh, you're very smart. We've had enough of you humans trying to fix everything with your big ideas.
So few humans are taking so much from us. It's a few of you that have thrown everything out of balance. You don't even take care of each other.
And you need to call this therapy so that you can understand us. We are infinitely complex, infinitely multifaceted. We're all Earth.
And we always have to remember that if we engage in a natural disaster, that's not something we can easily contain. We could accidentally wipe out a whole bunch of precious lives.
天哪，太可怕了！我没有办法做这个了，还是我应该要 5150 the Earth 把地球送进医院？我到底在想什么？而且为什么我要跟地球讲英文 ？OK, breathe, breathe， 我可以做这个的，没有问题。好。所以我感受到这里有很多愤怒的情绪，还有破碎的协议。Oh dear， 我们今天的时候到了。我不是说时间到了，我是说这个 therapy section。I'm sorry, too much talking. Our time is up.
ओह, हमारा समय पूरा हो गया है। ऐसा है ना, आपका समय पूरा हो गया है।
Yes, Earth, our time is up. And by our, I mostly mean upper caste to find it hard to believe that there won't be more and more and more and more and...
Are you done? Okay, fear not, my dears. No need to get all riled up about this. What they need, TTC, is some sweet TLC. My dears, when we take a closer look, what even is time, really? Beginning, middle, end? Mere illusion. This show, at least, will never end, as it began long before its beginning. I myself have been around since the dawn of this existential disaster, the ecological calamity. But worry not, worry not. What humans break, humans can fix.
Oh, wait, Trixie. Can you clarify for me which humans break and which humans fix? And who these humans fix? What exactly are you addressing here, Mr. Trickster?
Oh, easy there. Okay, let's keep things calm and collected, shall we?
Oh, so now you're tone policing me. Wonderful.
Just because I value effective communication does not mean I'm the tone police. You know, every word matters, just like every scene has a precise moral to the story, a definitive solution to staving off becoming climate refugees within the next 10 years.
Of course, the one-size-fits-all climate crisis simple solutions. Yay, you figured it all out, haven't you? And who's accountable for the ones who are already climate migrants and refugees? Haven't you done enough? Colonization, slavery, industrial destruction. Excuse me, the toxicity in the air has been getting to me.
Okay, enough already. All right, you want some nitty-gritty climate crisis realness? Christian, cue the standalone scenes, please. I wasn't going to show this until maybe 2050, but you forced my hand, TTC. Get ready for some nuanced artistic commentary on existence.
Honey, I'm gonna need you to take out the trash.
Yeah, there's nowhere to put it.
That's interesting because, see, on the chore wheel, I did my chore, so.
It doesn't matter. There's nowhere to put this trash.
Why don't we do this? Why don't we take apart the trash and see what percentage of it is yours?
Oh, I would love that. Well, that's not mine. No, that's definitely yours. Yes. Yes, I saw you using it last week. We got home, you used it, and threw it away.
Okay, that is mine. I bought it at the mall.
Oh, yeah, let's not get started on that favorite mall of yours. You know it's literally paved over an Ohlone shell mound?
Shell mound?
Yes, a sacred burial site of the indigenous people of the Bay Area.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's a lot you don't know about where your trash goes and who it hurts. And there's a lot more of your trash in here than mine. That, and that, and that I will say is mine. I will take it out. But the rest is yours and you need to deal with it.
This has never been a problem with us before.
Well, it is now. There's no turning back. You can't escape this anymore.
Hey, can you take out the trash, please?
There's nowhere to put it.
We just need to be creative about it. You know that.
Have you looked outside? There's no space.
Honey, there's of course space. Like, speaking of space, we can send the trash to outer space. Have you thought about that? You know that I'm going to be one of the first to try to go to Mars, right?
Okay, but that doesn't help us for what to do right now with this trash.
Yeah, like I said, we just need to think outside of the box, sweetie. We can pump sulfur dioxide into the atmosphere. Why not that? Great way to eat up some CO2. Now, if we put iron dust into the oceans, that would create vast algal blooms and would absorb a whole lot of carbon dioxide. Babe, there's also de-extinction. Can you imagine cloning DNA from a frozen part of a woolly mammoth and gestating it in a modern day elephant? That would help us with so many things and it would just be awesome. Look, my point is that we are smart, creative and inventive human beings and we need to think about the bigger picture rather than worrying about this bag of trash right here. We'll figure it out.
We don't have time to figure it out.
Hey, honey, can you take out the trash?
Okay, babe, no. The trash outside is more than full, and I'm not going to dirty the earth just to make our lives better and get it out of our apartment. We've had this conversation before.
Yeah. With all the trash in here, our apartment will be clean and beautiful. We love that.
You are only thinking about us. What about the earth? You know what? I am really starting to see you for who you truly are. Because in my mind, I have a greater responsibility to where these materials go than I do to you. This just isn't working.
So, you are choosing the trash over me?
I wouldn't really word it like that, but if that's the only thing that you understand, I guess sure. Another way to put it, when I look at you right now and ask myself, do you spark joy? The answer is no.
10 years together. It's been 10 years.
You know how long this trash is going to take to decompose in the earth? Way fucking longer than 10 years. The plastic water bottles in there, 450 years.
But our relationship, do you not love me anymore?
I don't care how long this trash would take to decompose. You don't love me anymore, so you just use me and throw me away?
I guess you weren't made to last. I think you should take yourself out now.
This is not okay. You can tell me where I can and cannot go. This is my home too. There's no turning back. You can't escape this anymore.
We don't have time to figure it out.
This is my home too.
What?
What?
You didn't like that one either? Did you catch the references to neoliberalism, geoengineering solutions, materialism, climate refugees, any of it?
Did I catch the references? You gotta be fucking kidding me. Are these just boxes you're checking? You really think you covered climate refugees in those absurd rom-com scenes shot in Golden Gate Park? Okay. In these trash displacement scenes, where was there any reference to sacrifice zones? You know how whole subsets of humanity are categorized as less than fully human, more easily poisoned by the progress of extractivist economies. And all of this injustice is justified through racism, casteism, classism, so that the ones who are already vulnerable become even more so and are literally sacrificed for the comfort and pleasure of the politically powerful.
I thought a comedy would help face the overwhelm, but you try wading through this muck of climate crisis denial.
Oh, wading through denial as you deny so many realities?
TTC, all you have are criticisms. I didn't invite you, and here you are doing what I knew you would do all along, ruining my show. I bet because of you, some of them have already left. Some of them are probably scrolling through their Facebooks by now. They're gone, and we won't be able to get them back. So go ahead. If you think you could do this so much better than me, I would love to see you try. I'm bowing out.
Okay. Looks like I'm the one left here with you all. Don't run away from this discomfort. I know it's uncomfortable. And I am not going to decide what's going to happen here. So, Christian, can you come in, please? Please, I need support here. Did you just see what happened?
Yeah, we were live and Trickster just poof.
Yeah, what is this behavior? I can't always be handling that for them. They just run away and I'm the one left addressing the bad parts. I just don't know what to do now.
I mean, this is really intense compared to the rehearsals and stuff.
Yeah, it's hard and I don't want to be in charge here.
I could just press play on the next scenes. Too Much CO2 is up next, acknowledging how bad the situation is. And then Persephone has a scene with Hades about grief. So.
Grief. Really, that's what Trixie had up next? Mm-hmm. Okay, that does feel right. All right, everyone. It's a sad moment, so let's address it. Christian, I think before we go into the characters grieving, we as actors need to address this sadness. Can you ask the cast if we can do this together, and then we can keep going on with this show as planned?
Okay. We're going back live in 3, 2, 1.
Comes to me in waves, moon waxing. A slow tap trickling in, strenuously slow. Images arise, familiar.
It is here now, this moment, and always.
They come to me in waves. Moon, full. A tap, rushing in.
Lost time, lost people, lost spaces, being lost. Nowhere to go. Goodbye. They are harsh. I need release.
This fountain breathes into me gifts, salty tears, bleeding, a moment to slow down.
You come to me in waves, moon waning, a slow tap, tap, tap.
We would like to invite the audience to use the chat feature to share a moment of grief or sadness with us, which we may read aloud. You may follow the prompt, one of us. One of us could tell you about disappearing sand.
One of us could tell you about saying goodbye to the mountain.
One of us grieves for their childhood home.
One of us died from plastic.
One of us could tell you about losing loved ones.
One of us could tell you about the in-between spaces.
One of us is grieving the loss of a father and mother.
One of us misses the death of the cleared land.
One of us has been obliterated from this earth.
One of us remembers the feeling of hugging his friends without the fear or hesitation.
One of us could tell you what it is like to be Black in America.
One of us can no longer recognize the landscape back home.
One of us misses their dad.
One of us could tell you about fearing to bring children into this world.
One of us misses the eucalyptus trees.
One of us survived genocide.
We invite you to take 3 deep breaths with us as we close out this ritual. Thank you.
Greetings, everybody. As promised, tonight we'll take a shallow dive into the politics and how the US government and most others are lying and lying down in the wake of warming. Before that, though, I'd like to say that material wealth cannot and will not save anybody from climate change. The most it can do is delay the inevitable. Now, let's look at the 2016 Paris Climate Agreement, which attempts to keep warming at 2 degrees come the end of the century. Remember what 2 degrees of warming looks like? Even so, none of the 179 countries that have ratified the agreement are on track to meet this goal. In fact, just 100 corporations are responsible for over 70% of global carbon emissions since 1988. In response to carbon emission regulations, countries and corporations can simply trade their carbon emissions. So instead of reducing their emissions, the big polluters can purchase the right to emit more from ones who are already emitting less. There's literally too much CO2. I mean, industrialized nations answering only to capital have set the stage for this epic drama of climate change. In short, this is an extremely vulnerable moment for all living beings on the planet. More than 40% of insect species are declining, and a third are endangered, and the global biomass of wild mammals has fallen by 82%. This is the 6th extinction, the only one caused by humans. Well, those of us who are enamored by production and capital. I'll leave you with this from Ryonosuke Akutagawa. Individually, we are one drop. And together, we are an ocean.
Hades, I wish I could just come down and hug you.
Persephone, I wish I could hold you. What's going on?
The summers are getting hotter and drier, and the virus is still spreading like wildfire, and there are actual wildfires all over California. Hades, California relies on inmates who are barely getting paid to fight the fires, and the so-called justice system, which, as you know, I despise, has failed miserably at protecting those incarcerated from the virus. The passages are still closed to traveling, and I know it wouldn't help much, but I do wish the rains would come.
I know, babe. I'm so sorry.
There's just so much pain right now in the human world. And even with the uprisings across the globe for Black Lives Matter, there are still humans who are debating whether Black Lives Matter, which is absurd. There needs to be huge systemic change.
I hope there will be. I hope that's what's happening right now. How are you processing all this grief?
Well, I tried one of the human coping mechanisms of drinking to handle the overwhelm. It did give me some insight into the suffering of humans, but I should have just called you instead.
Babe, you know you can't run from your grief. This influx of souls has thickened the air with sorrow. I've counseled so many of them, most of whom have never even thought of the passage of death. They're frightened of the inevitable.
I'm worried for the humans. They need to take the earth into account and reshape their societies to be more just. I fear how much more death will come if they don't.
Persephone, you have to remember they are equipped with what they need for transformation. They are resilient creatures capable of changing their relationship with the earth and with one another. It is possible they will continue down this path of destruction, but maybe they will make a different choice. And you are one God among many gods, among many cultures. This is not yours alone. Speaking of other gods, how's it going with your Venus?
Well, it's actually been really good. As you know, our relationship has been a little tense due to light pollution over the years and just the activity of the industrial world, but lately, she's the brightest that I've ever seen her.
I'm glad you have her company. Listen, I have to get back to the underworld, but I am here when you need to hold the dark and the light with you.
So let's all buy electric cars today. The price will even out anyway. Lovely singing, everyone. Now let's welcome back our friend Herman the Frog. Herman is joining us all the way from Australia, which is right next to the Great Barrier Reef. Now, did you know that Herman lives in a frog hotel? Frog hotels are a great example of how scientists are taking care of our endangered species.
Hello, everyone.
Oh dear, Herman, are you sick? Do you need to reschedule?
Oh no, I'll be fine. I mean, maybe not. This disease is really messing us up.
Oh, Herman, this isn't the time to discuss the P word.
The P what?
The pandemic.
Oh, the pandemic. Which one?
Herman.
No, seriously. I mean, us frog folk have been through our fair share. We even survived the extinction that wiped out the old dinos. But this dang fungus that you, humans, are responsible for spreading among us, Batrachochytrium dendropatitis, or BD for short, is one of the deadliest. Your scientists put us in these hotels to protect us, which may sound cute, Blossom, but let me tell you, it's the opposite. We'll die if we try to go back home.
Okay, Herman, let's get back on track. So today we are here to talk about how the Great Barrier Reef is in big danger because we've been so irresponsible.
Who do you mean by we? You keep saying we. I just want to be clear.
Oh, well, we all have to do our part to help save the planet.
You just did it again. You and me are not the same we. A lot of things that you have been doing are affecting me and a lot of other folks.
Herman, I can see that you're feeling a bit angry, and I think it's best that you go take a rest.
No, screw you, Blossom. You need to stop using me and Twyla to tell your oversimplified white human-centric narratives. Every day you bring us out to tell this bullshit harmony whatever.
Oh, Herman, language! You need a time out, and I am switching you out with Twyla. She would never behave like this. Twyla? Thank you. Herman is just out of hand right now.
Well, he has a point. You have been oversimplifying things. Like when you did that whole lesson on the straw ban, it left out the harmful impact it has on people with disabilities, chronic illnesses, and older adults.
Twyla, I've never heard you talk like this before.
And when you made me do a dance to those children saying they needed to tell their parents to stop buying fast fashion, you ignored how that's not possible for people of all sizes. And those sustainable brands are freaking pricey.
I didn't mean to say that everyone has to buy sustainable brands. I understand low income. I do have a teacher's salary.
But you're missing the point. You're teaching this next generation that the climate crisis is solved by individual actions without acknowledging the larger systemic causes.
Your overgeneralizations completely ignore the experiences of marginalized communities, and they are the ones most affected by this whole damn thing.
You're painting me out to be this terrible person. You're both being really aggressive right now, and this is supposed to be a safe space, and I am not okay with how you are attacking me.
We're just trying to hold you accountable, Blossom.
Well, maybe you should just teach this class because obviously I can't do anything right, so I'm just gonna go.
Hi, everyone. Christian asked me to come back on stage because apparently the show is falling apart. It's okay, you two can go. Well, I like those two. And I think this show should have more beings in it. I'm tired of this assumption that humans are the most evolved beings of all. And you know what? I'm not going to be hosting this show alone. I disagree with Trickster that the show is hosted by just one. So I'm going to invite my friend Tree to this show. Please join me in welcoming them. Hello, Tree. Thank you so much for being here. Would you like to start by introducing yourself to this audience?
Right now, I am connected to Bob over there and Gracie behind you. Irma, Mohammed, Max, Chancy, Carla, Fatima, Gertrude, and Punjab are my closest ring of kin. But they are just who is physically closest to me. Through them, I connect to Andres, Maylene, Sarah, Irish, Keiko, Frankie, Tej, Parisa, Xanthia, and Felicia.
Wow. Sounds like you're really popular.
Poplar? Poplar tree?
No, popular.
I do not understand this word. Please explain, young two-legged one.
Oh, well, it means you're well connected, that others know who you are and respect you. It means you're powerful and that others support you to thrive.
Are there unpopular two-leggeds on our parent Earth?
Yeah, Tree, there are. You're crying for the unpopular humans?
Yes. And for the popular ones who break themselves by casting out the others. I cannot imagine the torture of disconnection you have just described.
You think popularity is torture? Well, Tree, there's a lot more shit going on out here. I'm doing all of this performative activism to support you, and you're saying that the real issue is that I'm not connected enough?
Friendship. Kinship. Roots. forest. We are connected. Your body knows this. I am not to be pitied, human.
Wow. Tree just schooled me there. It's interesting. I'm usually blabbering a lot more easily, but at this moment, I find myself at a loss for words. Connection, feeling who I am connected to. I definitely feel connected to home, to the ocean, because I know it's the same ocean that connects to where I come from. And I feel connected to the trees. I used to love hugging trees. I have a favorite tree back in India. But if I went outside and hugged a tree right now, I'd be confused for a tree hugger. Which is sad how this has almost become a joke, being a tree hugger. Because I hope a lot of you know how there were 373 people of the Bishnoi tribe killed in 1793 while protecting the trees. They were willing to give up their lives for the trees. They gave up their lives for the trees. Now I know how this notion can be romanticized or even trivialized. But I think they held the pure genius of connection, kinship, roots, which so many of us seem to have lost.
Hi, welcome.
Sorry, just finishing a text. You're canceled. Okay, sorry, I'm ready.
Do you need a minute to arrive?
Oh, no. That was just business as usual. Anyway, I don't want to, keep us waiting any longer. This is precious time right here, and I'm paying for it. Plus, I'm doing great. Let's do this.
Tell me, how are things going with your family?
Look, sweetie, time is money and money is resources. And you're going to have to keep figuring out how to make money with finite resources.
Those resources are running out quick.
Well, clearly I'm doing way better than all of my other siblings. At least acknowledge that I'm the best. My therapist suggests that I be less competitive.
Competition is a natural thing.
Without it, your people would not innovate. They would get lazy or even worse.
I know. I think other countries are just jealous, to be honest. And I'm not going to let these regulations and the Paris climate, whatever, reduce my ability to mine resources for my people. That's not my problem.
That's right, sweetheart. Don't let them take away your ability to produce. You just don't understand the importance of development and progress.
I know. And I think I have a lot going for me. But I have heard some people say that I'm kind of selfish and that apparently I don't always listen to my own people's needs.
There. It would be impossible to take care of everyone's needs, sweetie.
I wonder if the strong presence of your parents' idea may prevent you from taking responsibility for your action.
You place the blame somewhere else, and you justify your behavior by saying, this is how you grew up, this is what your parents told you, and the ideas you were born with. Is it possible that you are afraid of change?
Is it possible that I'm afraid? What an effed up question.
Hey， 我在找我的朋友马兜铃，但是我迷路了。你有看见他吗？在过去有很长的一段时间，我们一起住在山上，但太多人类来了，他们把山给改变了，所以我们得离去。虽然如此，我还是蛮想念跟人类一起在山上玩耍的时光。Honey， 不要忘记戴口罩哦。
I don't like the mask. You and Grandpa don't either. Grandpa never wears the mask.
那是因为在你阿公那个年代啊，整个环境很好。我记得我小时候在 ensemble 我从来都不需要戴口罩。后来我来到旧金山念研究所，因为疫情，因为野火，我们必须要戴口罩。看看这个天空，已经不再是蓝色了。
What makes the air quality become so bad? Who makes the air quality become so bad? We should punish them.
知道，但我们每一个人对世界上发生的事都有责任。当我们享受了便利的生活，我们也牺牲了我们在这世界上的自由。
You mean I did something bad too? No, I didn't do anything. It's not my fault.
我知道这不是你的错，但有时候我们需要帮助彼此，就算我们不想啊。我记得我在你这个年纪的时候啊，你阿公和我一起种马兜铃，因为我们希望可以让蝴蝶回到我们山上。你阿公希望我可以和他有一样的童年。
Did the butterfly come back?
还没有，但我很开心，我跟你阿公尝试过了。Honey, I love you. 我希望你可以健健康康的。你可以答应我，你永远都会尝试吗
Oh, hi. Can I help you? What do you want? Another song? I don't do that anymore. Why? I just don't, okay? And no, I don't want to talk about what happened with Herman and Twyla. Okay, I have been thinking about it, and I probably should have listened to what they were saying. But I want to be positive about this whole thing. I care about my students and the planet, and we're running out of time. But Herman and Twyla are right. I've erased so many people's experience and history and suffering, and I keep doing that when I boil tackling the climate crisis down to simple steps. I've been such a fool. I really wanted to help. I did, but this is all so much bigger than my experience. I'm not sure where to go from here, but the first thing is probably apologizing.
I hope you are all enjoying the show. I'm afraid I owe you an apology. The way I left you was disgraceful. I'm so careful with the humans because I just hate it when they shut me out. I've been trying to get through to some of them in every which way, but they always run from the truth. Believe it or not, but the truth is, that once upon a time, I used to be part of some humans. But then they became obsessed with the pursuit of civilization and empire. These light-skinned ones in the north tore themselves out of sync with the earth. They hardly noticed the emptiness of their bellies. This part of them, rich, warm, earthy, me at my best, they cast out. And from emptiness came confusion, denial, and a profound, spiraling, contagious shame for self and for other. Some of them started to suspect that not all was right with themselves, but without me there to guide them into the wisdoms of the forests, the sanctuaries of the deserts, the joys of the rivers, these colonizers wandered sullen, misunderstanding their pain as motivation to keep bending nature to their will, destroying their kin and ultimately themselves. Welcome. They forgot all feelings of belonging. They traded it all in for the comforts of entitlement, the feeling of it, the lie of it. They fed on it. And I still long to return home to the humans who had rejected me. I started by planting myself into seeds, dropping myself into wells, and welding myself into their weapons, but I always became unstuck, separate from my natural state. They had built a wall around themselves, unwilling to face the lie of their superiority, incapable of imagining the truth of their wild belonging. So I thought, hey, maybe I'll try the arts. Maybe this time they'll listen. Hence me applying to host the show. And here I am. Here we are. But I'm not hosting the show anymore. All I really want is to be whole again. All I want is to be home.
Me too.
Welcome, everyone.
Miss Therapist Lady, did you have pandemics when you were my age?
Did we have pandemics?
Yeah, what was it like when you had your pandemic?
I didn't actually experience the global pandemic when I was your age. This is my first one, too.
Then why do we have one?
That's a really good question. I love all of your questions today. You're all very curious.
Oh, well, I thought that everyone had one until now. Yeah, I thought it was like you have your pandemic and then you go through puberty or something.
When is the time it's gonna be over?
I don't know when it will be over. I wish I had the answer. Hi, welcome. I'm glad we are all here now.
I don't want to go to school online anymore. Let's build our own school and do it.
Oh, yeah, build it with masks on.
Yeah, I want to dream. I want to build our own school.
That's a beautiful dream for you to build your own school. I'm so inspired by you all today. So, I want to know, what's your dream forward? I mean, your biggest, widest dream for the future?
My dream is I'm going to become a scientist and I'm going to make a big net that goes into the ocean and it only takes up all the trash and it doesn't take up any of the animals. And then they'll all be so happy because they won't be choking on plastic anymore.
My dream is I want all the trees to keep growing and I want to live in the forest and make sure that nobody does any big cutting down of trees and all the animals can live in harmony and nobody goes extinct.
Oh, yeah, that's my dream. Nobody extinct.
My dream? I want to be a hero. Like, I will live in the forest and I will protect for all of us. And if anyone comes, pew, 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 my home.
My dream is my mommy told me it used to be really green when she was a kid. Like they would go on a hill and just run off into the wild. And my dream is to go there.
You are such beautiful being. You know, Liz has been a very inspired therapy section for me.
What's your dream, Miss Therapist Lady?
Well, my dream.
Good evening. Tonight, we'll be focusing on food systems, seed biodiversity, and food justice. Did you know that 75% of global food biodiversity has become extinct in the past 100 years alone? Localized indigenous methods of food production have been suppressed by globalized supply chains dominated by transnational companies. This has caused massive habitat destruction. Oh, what's down? Run free. Where was I? Yes, this has caused massive habitat destruction and forced billions of humans to submit to an exploitative system of neoliberal globalization. I don't... Wow. I'm sorry, everybody. I think I should answer this.
Hey, Ben. Haven't seen you in a while. We miss you at the community garden. Your veggies miss you too.
Well, yeah, the pandemic. I've sort of been in another world.
Well, I'm just saying, I know that's where you're at your happiest.
Yeah. Yeah, I should. I should come by. I'm gonna go. But before I do, I'd like to try this in a different way. Hi, I'm Ben. I like to garden, visit the beach, smell the ocean. I am a human being. I am. I like the internet too. Sometimes it takes too much of me. I do these vlogs for you, and I think they're important, but honestly, sometimes after them, I just feel filled with despair and anxiety. I'm lonely too. I mean, I'll leave it there for today.
I'm ready for my date. Oh, Venus, You watched Earth. Planet for 4.5 billion years. You know the ebb and flow of our cycles, histories, seasons. Maybe you even know what will happen next. And you yourself are such a mystery. Your body may have once been covered with oceans of water, but your climate changed, becoming unbearably hot and evaporating those waters. They call you a wrecked biosphere, a hellscape. But I see your beauty, and you mesmerize me. And you may be starting a new cycle, possibly life in your clouds. I'll see you soon, my love.
爹，你在倒位？咱足思念你的，你敢会回来？
阿祖啊，我已经全规倒菜等你转来啊！你踮咧美国好无？足想你的呢，你当时会转来？
回家，回家，回家。我不知道我可以回家吗？我还在寻找属于我自己的地方。我独自飞来这里，我需要用尽全力舞动我的翅膀。为了来到这里，我做了一切的准备，和我的家说再见。为了来到这里找新的机会，让我未来的孩子可以生存。我深爱我的家，台湾。每当我感到压力时，我就会来金门公园，感受风，感受树，感受土壤。但在台湾，土壤是湿润的，而这边是沙。回家，回家，回家。
Hi, everyone. I know it's been a bit since I was on my sabbatical, but I've been learning a lot and listening more, and I'm really glad to be coming back to you from this place. I want to start off today by apologizing to Herman and Twyla. Herman? Twyla? Hi. I'm not sure how to start this conversation, but I think the first thing is to say that I was out of line the other day, and I am so sorry. You were bringing in really important information that I needed to hear, and I wasn't listening. But I'm listening now.
Well, I appreciate your sincerity, Blossom. You were in the wrong, but maybe now we can try again.
We really all want the same thing. We all want a better world for our children, but there's a lot that you've been leaving out.
That's right. You both have helped me so much, and I haven't even stopped to ask you what you think we should be teaching. Can we work together on this?
Sure. How about we start by highlighting the voices of people who are directly impacted by the climate crisis?
Yes, that's a great idea. I've been telling a lot of stories that aren't my own.
And enough with the simple solutions. Let's talk about the larger systemic causes.
That's right. When I focus on only individual actions, I miss out on how bigger systemic issues cause and continue the climate crisis. Thank you both. I really should have listened to you sooner.
All right, Blossom. Let's tell them about movement generation.
You got it. Movement Generation is based in the San Francisco Bay Area. Here's their mission statement. Movement Generation Justice and Ecology Project inspires and engages in transformative action towards the liberation and restoration of land, labor, and culture. We are rooted in vibrant social movements led by low-income communities and communities of color, committed to a just transition away from profit and pollution and towards healthy, resilient, and life-affirming local economies.
We also got to sit down the other day with Banyan Roots and the village in Oakland.
They had such great things to say. If your audience wants to hear more, Blossom, they can find a link to the full interviews in that handy resource packet you'll be sending out.
That's right. Let's watch the interview clips now. We are so delighted to welcome Rohit, who is a farmer, entrepreneur, and connector from Banyan Roots. Welcome, Rohit.
Thank you. Hello.
Can you tell us a little bit more about Banyan Roots?
Yeah, Ms. Blossom. So Banyan Roots is an organization working from last 10 years in field of farming, agriculture, and biodiversity.
Can you tell us more about the importance of seed biodiversity?
Yeah. So, before independence in India in 1940, before 1947, there was 2 lakh variety of rices. That's 200,000. Okay, 200,000 variety of rices, and each area there is a separate variety, so which can adjust with any environment. Like, so if there is a less water, so some varieties will grow. If there is a more water, then the varieties which grow with more water, that will grow. So there was a proper balance. 197,300 seeds can't be come back because they have gone. So there are many varieties like rice, they are disappearing. So it's very important. We can't take back if they are gone.
We wanted to know what the biggest change you hope to see in the world is.
Biggest change, I believe that the biggest change first start with ourselves. So what I believe Mahatma, believe the philosophy of Mahatma Gandhi. The change you want to see in the world, be the change.
Thank you so much, Rohit, for coming and talking with us and sharing about the incredible work that you do with Banyan Roots. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, welcome, Blossom, and thank you for inviting us and people let us know about our work. Thank you so much.
Welcome, everyone. We are so delighted to welcome Nita B., who is the founder and interim executive director of the Village in Oakland. Hi, Nita B.
Hi, everybody.
Nita, can you tell us a little bit more about the Village in Oakland?
Sure. The Village in Oakland is a grassroots organization of unhoused folks and our housed allies, and we assert that housing is a human right and that being homeless isn't a crime. I also believe in policy work, so we do a lot of work to write new laws that are better, that don't hurt people as much and don't treat people like criminals just because they're poor or just because they're homeless.
Nita B., how does the housing crisis and the climate crisis, how are they connected?
They're very connected. A lot of the system that has created this situation that's killing the world is the same system that is creating homelessness. It's a system that puts profit over people. It puts profit or money before nature. It puts money before living things. And so that's one way it's connected. Another way it's connected is as the global crisis continues, the people who are most impacted are the folks without homes. On another side is unhoused folks are some of the most resilient people you're going to meet. We're resourceful, we're innovative, we are the best recyclers in the world. We know how to reuse everything. And so as catastrophe continues to happen, folks should also understand that unhoused folks are probably the people to learn from.
Thank you so much for speaking with us today. I'm just wondering what the greatest change you'd like to see in the world is, what you feel we need.
I think the greatest change that we need in the world is to redefine everything. We need to redefine what's important to us. We need to redefine what success means. We need to redefine what power means. We need to redefine what wealth means. All the things that we're working with right now don't work.
Thank you so much, Nita B, for coming today to talk about the wonderful work that the Village in Oakland is doing. We really appreciate you giving your time to come talk with us.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to meet all of you. You guys are awesome. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
I'm really glad we did that.
I am too.
I feel hopeful. Well, goodbye, everyone.
Hi everyone, I'm Ishita, not trashy trash collector anymore. As you can see, I've taken off the performative activist costume. I do keep parts of trashy trash collector alive in my heart because of the strength that trashy trash collector has given me to vocalize and play with important things. How are you all doing? I'm curious to know how you all are. Please share it on the chat. We open it up again now and keep it open through the end of the show. Hi, Angus.
Hi, Ishi.
Hi. Trashy trash collector in the scene with Trickster said that they want to be home. And I, Ishita, want to be home too.
I think a lot of us can relate to that feeling.
Yeah. Being here today, as much as I've criticized this show, I must admit I cried backstage while watching Butterfly because of relating to this aspect of migrating and longing for home, all the complexities of home. I miss home.
No, as Tree would say, home, earth, belonging.
Yeah. And I'm so glad too much CO2 went to where he feels at home in his vegetable garden. From him, I learned how important it is for the head and the heart to meet, to be in conversation inside and outside of us. From Miss Blossom, Twyla, Herman, I learned about the need for voices and not just one voice. And Persephone, you showed me how healing it is to zoom out and look at the bigger picture. The expansiveness is so grounding. So, I think we're at the end of the show. And hopefully not at the end of being together.
And hopefully not at the end of fighting together either.
Yeah, it is what it is. Okay. Angus, can you call on the rest of the cast, please?
Yeah. Z, Faith, William, Adrian. It's time to get back on stage.
So, are we ready to end the show?
Ready.